The story of St. Patrick begins in what was then Roman Britain, possibly near the modern-day village of Maewyn, located in southern Wales. Born between 385 and 386 AD, and that's also up for debate, it's believed his real name was Maewyn Succat. He was the son of Calpurnius, who was a deacon and a decurion, which is a Roman cavalry officer, and his wife Conchessa. He also had a sister by the name of Dereka, and today she is known as Saint Dereka of Ireland, who gave birth to several children who also became saints. As for Maewyn, he had a typical experience growing up, well, at least up until he was 16 when he was kidnapped by Irish pirates and sold into slavery in Ireland. Maewyn was held captive in County Antrim, forced to serve as a herdsman for a local chieftain on the slopes of Mount Slemish, and did so for a period of 6 years. During his captivity, he turned to religion, with his time often spent in contemplation or prayer. One story points to a dream he had in which his favorite sheepdog appeared to him as an angel and told him of a nearby ship. He escaped as a stowaway and made his way back to Britain, eventually reuniting with his family. In Britain, Maewyn had a dream that he was called to return to Ireland to share his faith with the Irish. While inspired, he felt unprepared for the mission, and Maewyn spent roughly 12 years in a monastery, possibly in France. After his time abroad, he returned to Ireland as a bishop, calling himself by the name of Patrick. His work there wasn't always successful. At various times, he was imprisoned for upsetting local chieftains and druids. However, he always won his freedom through either escape or presenting them with gifts. During his life, he preached and baptized people throughout Ireland and established several hundred churches, as well as schools and monasteries. Nearing the end of his life, Patrick traveled to Saul, a village in County Down in Northern Ireland. In a dream, an angel appeared to him and told him that it was there in Saul where he would die. He died on March 17th, 461. Now there are several legends from Irish mythology about Patrick. One tale of his life was that his teaching included using a shamrock. The shamrock was used to symbolize the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, with each leaf being bound together by a common stem. There's also another tale that he drove the snakes out of Ireland, which was purely metaphorical. There are no snakes in Ireland, and there's not any scientific proof that there ever were. In England, a tale regarding St. Patrick tells the story of how he left his ashwood walking stick in the ground as he went off to try to convert nearby villagers to Christianity. This apparently wasn't a quick endeavor, and the walking stick grew into an ash tree. The town of Aspatria, Cumbria, takes its namesake from this event. The origins of the name Aspatria is said to be a mix of Old Scandinavian and Celtic, translating as Ash Tree of St. Patrick. Blue was the color St. Patrick wore, and it wasn't until the 1640s and the use of the green harp flag by the Irish Catholic Confederation when green became associated with Ireland. Contrary to this title, St. Patrick was never formally canonized as a saint by a pope, but that itself was not uncommon in the time in which he lived. St. Patrick is recognized as a patron saint and national apostle of Ireland. He is also one of 3 patron saints of Ireland, along with St. Bridget and St. Columba. His writings are known only from 2 surviving short works, the Confessio, which is his autobiography, and his letter to Coroticus, which was a strong denunciation of how Irish Christians were being mistreated by the British at the time. The Confessio tells of his life and mentions his parents, his kidnapping, and enslavement at 16 years old, as well as his embarrassment at a lack of education. Some people believe this was written in his defense, as there were those who believed he was never captured or enslaved at all. His letter to Coroticus was a response to how Coroticus and his soldiers raided Ireland, kidnapping and killing many of the recent Christian converts of Patrick. Around the 10th century in Ireland, people began observing a feast day honoring St. Patrick, but the first official feast day established by the Church occurred on March 17th, 1631. 30 years prior to that, the first St. Patrick's Day parade was recorded, not in Ireland, but in what is now St. Augustine, Florida. In 1601, St. Augustine was a Spanish colony and was overseen by Ricardo Artur, who was an Irish vicar. Today, St. Patrick's Day is celebrated in numerous countries around the world, obviously including Ireland, and the UK, Canada, the US, Brazil, Argentina, Australia, South Africa, and New Zealand, to name a few.